From car parts to avocados to whiskey and oranges, welcome to the new battleground of geopolitics. President Trump's decision to whack tariffs on American allies and rivals has seen a weekend of retaliation. Canada announcing its own tariffs, Mexico warning of some of their own, and China set to take their case to the World Trade Organization. But for the White House, it's time to double down.
The problem with this whole idea that they're going to retaliate is they have already been taking advantage of America for decades. The retaliation is Donald Trump saying no more.
So what has President Trump signed? The tariffs are imposed on America's three largest trading blocs, neighboring Mexico and Canada as well as China, accounting for more than 40% of imports into the United States. But starting on Tuesday, goods from Canada and Mexico will face a 25% levy, bar Canadian energy, which will have its own 10% tariff, and Chinese imports will face a 10% levy. The president hopes the tariffs will reduce America's trade deficit, the difference between imports and exports, with the US currently buying in far more products than it sells to all three nations. Data so far for 2024 put that figure at more than $480 billion. There's politics at play too. The US government wants tariffs to force countries to curb immigration at the border and end drug trafficking, particularly the passage of fentanyl.
I am glad that we're pushing back against China and Mexico when it comes to fentanyl poisoning of America. I am glad we're putting everybody on notice that the old way of doing business is over.
As Mexico prepares retaliatory tariffs, President Claudia Sheinbaum spoke today with Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who announced a 25% tax on $20 billion worth of US goods, warning Americans of the costs.
Tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you.
With Canada set to tax imports on Florida orange juice and Tennessee whiskey, Ottawa is taking aim at goods in Republican states, sending a message to Trump's allies in Congress, where some senators are wary about a trade war. The president is unfazed, writing today that while there may be some pain for Americans, without US subsidies, Canada would cease to exist and become the United States' 51st state. For President Trump, this is about the blunt force of tariffs to push through his agenda, one that's always been about countering China. Secretary of State Marco Rubio was in Panama today on his first trip abroad, as he focuses on Latin America. The Trump team believes China's growing dominance in its own backyard needs to be curbed, with Beijing having too much control over the Panama Canal, the White House says. And with China's economy dependent on its exports, a trade war is not something they want.
It's Punxsutawney Phil!
Today was Groundhog Day in America, where Punxsutawney Phil predicts whether we'll have an early or late spring. With this just the first weekend of a looming trade battle, and with Trump threatening tariffs on the European Union, it's no wonder Groundhog Phil predicted a long winter ahead.
Get ready for 6 more weeks of winter this year.